While the origin of the prong collar is not entirely clear, it is widely published that their original purpose was to have a collar that was effective while minimizing the possibility of abuse. In fact, among veterinary chiropractors, the prong collar is often the tool of choice. Let's take this quote from Dr. Daniel Kamen, one of the most respected veterinary chiropractors in the industry, from his book, The Well-Adjusted Dog, page 24 through 27. The improper use of collars is the #1 cause of cervical subluxations in dogs. The flat collar is the most common type and can be dangerous if misused. It should not be used for training obedience. A frustrated owner who has difficulty controlling his pet will put the dog in such a manner as to cause tremendous cervical muscle tightening, thus producing subluxations. About prong collars, he writes this: most literature suggests that this is the most effective and least dangerous of restraining collars. The prong collar distributes pressure evenly across the neck and requires only a small amount of force. Incidence of canine upper cervical subluxations is far less likely with a prong collar. At this point, one might argue that an owner can simply switch to a harness. But Dr. Kamen continues and says this: although harnesses are normally thought of as being easier on the neck, they can be hard on the chest and the forelegs, and harnesses have little training value. The nature of the prong collar is such that it is almost impossible to cause injury to the dog, even if misused. An individual would have to go out of their way to cause physical injury using this tool. It is arguable that any individual who would go through such effort would likely commit the same abuse or worse if a prong collar were not available. In fact, as Dr. Kamen states, the literature suggests that there is far greater potential for physical harm from the misuse of flat collars and harnesses than from prong collars. And even if used improperly, the prong collar is designed to be safe, with the only real risk being slightly less effectiveness than when used with professional guidance. The worst that is often seen when the average owner uses a prong collar without guidance is that they don't engage in any actual training, but rather they simply just rely on the tool to reduce the severity of the dog's pulling. And this is not abusive. And in fact, it is far safer than a flat collar or a martingale. The prong collar is designed to reduce the amount of pressure on the dog's trachea. And unlike a standard flat collar or a martingale, there's no flat surface that can cut off the dog's supply of air or the two major veins on the side of the neck which supply blood to the brain. If a dog is going to pull on any type of collar, harness, or head halter, the prong collar is by far the safest.